research and keep you standard higher. Your pretty black woman, say me love your character. Good in a your blouse and good in a your skirt, yeah. No man I wish, but can cross your border. Surely no man can't turn, no twist, yeah. Right now we burn the man when I go take the dot of them. Big good for them, make we take out the breed of them. Rasta bring the vibe, we make the people love the dot of them. Yeah, I go dicky to see them when we sing again. Peace and love when we preaching at the club. Dance all night anytime when we come. Take a girl and spin around. Hey, booger man, can't stick around. My girl, you better than all your friends say that you need a better man. She'd rather stay at home and keep a king man warm. Smile book and we play another part. She tell me hands on baby boy, I really need your company. Anytime when you want, run to me and come stab it. Not just for now, but also in the days coming. Hada, give it to me, twist and Tony. As a certified meal, you know say that me not go turn way. Back it up, girl, and make me hit the runway. Love to some enough. Fast when me come, volcano, I rub 9 months another bird. Every woman need a man when I go lead them as stay. Big backyard, I'm slicky but okay. Rich man, no, I know I feel lovely at a yard. Listen me research and keep you standard higher. Every woman need a man when I go lead them as stay. Big backyard, I'm slicky but okay. But rich man, no want. Pretty girl, listen this. I when in the church, no they don't have them Chris, you know. Head to a Tommy check and me, I bless, you know. Well, some boy I works, and a sex man back, you know. Run them down, you know, the one of them wrong, you know. From the time a boy I come and flex like Jen, you know. And ask for them right, and I'm a chin at the town, you know. Serious thing, me a chat, me not go fret, you know. Broke them out, most of them can't fit, you know. Can't go give the wine, make the chichi get a shock, you know. Up to the drum, stop the scene at them track, you know. I know for you, the empress, them a proper fix, you know. And when she like that, she have it on the car, kiss her. Not to live until we have hold and enhance, you know. In case you never know, so nobody gets smashed, you know. Make the man know, wait till God me set me officer. But when me see that, a man what different. Every woman need a man when I go lead them astray. Big backyard and sneaky but okay. But rich man know I know I fell loosely attire. Listen me research and keep your standard higher. Every woman need a man when I go lead them astray. Big backyard and sneaky but okay. But I man know I fell loosely attire. Listen me research and keep your standard higher. Understand, girl, me love you know just the way you are. Don't call Leon. Lady, the twist and turns you make left root boy in a fire. Especially the thought don't stand, that couldn't be from Brian. All the moves you manifest left root boy in a Zion. Me love how you is performing, your tax come without warning, darling. Look, the girl, when I run down pretty car. Them kind of girl that come for me, and them come from far. Hey, you see, the girl them get next. Anything, when she asks me here, anything she want. Right I know, me party like rockstar. When me a Pluto, Jupiter, and even over Mars. Look, the girl, do it heart and soul. You will never ever find me playing out to man role. Loving the girl, you know, that's my style. Educate the bubble song because them love my profile. Watch I get loose at home and dance out yet sugar boost the freedom time when they make your man feel fine. Sweetie powder your cuff behind when then you don't pass you know if you roll your waistline. Dance stop it, make them know it's not a crime. That's why me have to thank the father since we never born blind. Love the girl when I run down pretty car. Them kind of girl that talk about me and then come from far. Hey, see the girl them get next anything when she asks me here, anything she want. Right I know me party like rockstar. Find me a Pluto, Jupiter and even over Mars. Love the girl doing heart and soul, so just listen cutie pie me why you know. Nothing brings joy like to see your girl Mary in a good mood, looking fly and happy. Cause you never mix up in a wagon with honey. Mix up in a your life just 10 years start and vomit. Get your body good from when you're born in a the past. Straight into the present, feel the future, you're the boss. Achievements you get, that thing should never run last. Just wine to the one that make how we just take pass. Cause them try to knock you out, but that's no walker. Arguments based on assumption, flash it out, now watch that. From your belly never switch craft. Oh yes, you fit the lioness, them cannot take no reward. Love the girl when I run down pretty girl. Them kind of girl when talk about me and then come from far. Happy see the girl them get vexed anything when she asks me here, anything she want. Right I know me party like rockstar. Find me a Pluto, Jupiter and even over Mars. Love the girl doing heart and soul. Hey, loving the girl you know, that's my style. Educate them about the song because them love my profile. Watch I get loose at home and dance out till sugar bust the freedom time wine and make your man feel fine. Sweet, we city proud of your cuff behind where when you don't pass you know if you roll your waistline. Don't stop it, make them know it's not a crime. That's why me have to thank the father since me never born blind. Can't give me pleasure and me care, you know. Wine to the one that they don't cause some stress and fear, you know. Don't sideways spread out because your man says so. Give a boring girl some tricks, he go walk off, fellow some me. Love the girl when I run down pretty girl. Last just wine to the one that make how we just take pass. Cause them them try to knock you out, but that's no walker. Arguments based on assumption, flash it out, now watch that. From your belly never host witchcraft, oh yes you fit. For the lion, lioness, them cannot take no reward. Love the girl, when I run down pretty girl. Them kind of girl when talk about me, and then come from far. Head to see, the girl them get vexed. Anything, when she asks me, yeah, anything she want. Right and now, the party like rock star. Find me a Pluto, Jupiter, and even over Mars. Love the girl, to it heart and soul, soul, soul. Hey, 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 loving the girl, you know, that's my style. Educate them about the song because they love my profile. Watch I get closer to my dance, what says sugar, bust the freedom time, why not make your man?
Welcome to the channel. This is live here today. Now, things are going to change. Now, I've finally fixed my internet problems, I think. So I'm really testing it to see if it's, behaves properly, so that we can have a polite stream. I'm a VP, so quite a bit to talk today. Now, there was a story that came out about the Tanzanian election. I've talked about this before, about how there's a lot of interference in a lot of elections, and it's not usually from the people you think are doing it. So we are going to talk about that. There's some news about that. Then, of course, we are going to be talking about this. The Somali situation in the US and how it's connected to Kenya and how the money is coming here and whatnot. Yeah, so a few people, they met with the law. So there's that one. We are going to talk about that, and we're going to see the connection, some reporting from the US, some reporting from here and whatnot. Then we're going to talk about the student arrest. I've given my piece in my last stream. If you want to skissa, it is there. Yeah, so there is more unrest after the Utumishi disaster. There was more unrest, and I'm going to talk about that, of course. Some of you, if you are here, you know where I stand with this, but if you are not, sit there tight, utajua. Then I'm going to finish off with scary movie. Scary movie 6. Yes. Hii channel hii ni ya mtu anafanyanga film. Kwa hivyo, if you are new here, just know that's what's up. So, we're going to talk about scary movie. It's done. It is exceeded expectation, as it were. So we are going to talk about that and how some people are receiving it. There's a lot of fake outrage, as usual. So straight away, let's jump in. So there's a lot of Kiswahili sanifu going on over here. So when I'm reading, I'm not as fluent. It's been a while since I've read Kiswahili sanifu or written for that matter. So there's this Dr. Zaki is one I've seen who's been posting. So vijana wengi waliojiunga na maandamano hawakujua kwamba nyuma ya harakati hizo kulikuwa na maslahi ya kisiasa na kifedha ambayo hayakuwahusu wao. Wengi walitumika kama zana, huku wakifikiri wanapigana kwa ajili ya haki na uhuru kwa kweli wa wananchi wenzao. So that is the general gist of it. I have actually just previously described this exactly like that, especially when you're talking about Gen Z protests. Now, a lot of people want to sell it that it's this organic movement that people just decided and got together. No, there is usually a lot of planning, a lot of funding. There's usually a lot of that going on to make sure that it happens. Now, the goals vary. The reasons why they happen, they vary. But really what creates that situation is basically the bad leadership, economies, the doldrums, whatnot. Those the normal things that usually start strife. So I want us to listen to this video by this doctor. I don't know if it's the same one. Then imagine. Alafu nitawaelezea zaidi. Nitawaelezea, wacha nichukue hiyo keyboard langu hili ambalo tunatumia kufanya switch yani. Kiswahili sanifu. Let's start it.
Imagine these activists. They are pushing these messages through the social media to the youth is in our country and the other countries. But they are living posh life. They are driving 4-wheel cars.
Now, this is the one thing that you must be aware of, whether you know the way, the same way we see our politicians driving big cars and they're like, I made my deal, gari kubwa. It's like we don't really connect. We connect it, but we don't really care. I don't know what it is exactly. It's the same with the activists. The big activists, they're all rich. Their work is supposed to be solving problems, getting a lot of funding from people, mostly the West, coming here to help solve problems, right? If there is a homelessness thing, they don't really handle like big things like that. But a little art thing there, a little let's support this artist there, let's do some sanitary thing over there, toilet, the normal. But the amounts of money that are spent, because the dollar in Kenya goes a very long way. If you decide, if somebody is giving you $1 million from the US, right now that's a 120-130 million. And you can lace it up in not to be taxed because it's NGO money, it's for helping the poor, blah, blah. I'm sure there's something. I'll check on that. I should have. But generally, even if you are being taxed by it, you'll keep tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions. So what happens is that they take, say it's 100 million, they take 80 million for administration, 80%. 20 million is what goes to try and solve the problem. The truth is this: the problem will not be solved otherwise. This funding won't be because a lot of this funding, it is yearly or annually. Sometimes it's like quarterly or something, but depending on what the project is. But they are given at regular intervals, so, or at least predictable intervals. So the problem that happens here, that these guys set up everything, normal. The money comes in, of course, they have to make themselves comfortable. So the 80 million goes to so-called paying bills and salaries and whatnot and rents and all those things. So somehow they work out the mathematics but majority of the money never goes to actually solving the problem. And the thing is, if you solve the problem, the money doesn't come anymore. Let's continue.
And they are living in 5-star hotels, really footing their bill.
I always wonder, like, when activists are going somewhere, they're always like flying. There's so much resources to fly somewhere, like first class or business class, whatever it is. But it's not like normal. They have to stay the best hotels and whatnot. They always have that funding to do that, and a lot of that money can solve a lot of problems if they really want to solve the problem. You see, if you have $20 million, that is something like 3 billion or something like that, over. The amount of problems you can solve, the amount of businesses you can set up, the amount of people you can put to work with that money, it's actually, it's amazing that we really, just look at the people who have factories, look at the people, the billionaires. That is the effect. If you could just do that. But these guys get all this money. They get astronomical amounts of money. Even if you're getting 10 million shillings, $100,000. If you really want to build something, if you really want to solve a problem, you can't at least do something considerable with that? Especially in Kenya here, where that dollar goes a long way.
For what interest? How are they going to pay him or her back? Because if someone calls you, it should be an remuneration, a reward for your work. So for them who are pushing this hate speech to our countries, for people to demonstrate.
So now this guy, I think, is the Gava people. The Gava people know this money. They know the banks. They know where the money is flowing, who is going to. They know. These are not secrets. They're open secrets, so to speak. Now, to me, there's this mambo of hate speech. I I do not support. I don't care about hate speech, that there should be a penalty for people saying things. I mean, there's few things you cannot say or whatnot. But I think they're are they really... Yeah, like, defaming someone, lying about someone, destroying reputation, that one, maliciously, those ones. But you see, if everything else, you should just say it. Just say it. It should be allowed. There should be no penalty. So this thing of saying, oh, they are saying this hate speech, but probably because it's lugha yake si ya English, so hatajui hiyo hate, it's just heard it somewhere. It's a term people use, but you can't on one side, because this is the thing. You have to let people speak, because really there isn't a better way to find out how people think and what people want to do than just letting them speak. But a lot of these people, they don't want that, because what they want is to restrict ideas forming and flourishing and whatnot. Sometimes for better or worse, because it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes some people are planning some catastrophe somewhere, my friend. So the thing is, you have to let them speak, and you have to monitor. This is now real life. I'm just like, we all know, because a lot of us want to behave like we are good people. Like out here, they're just good people. No. Here, they're just weak people who don't have power. If they have power, you will fully know who they are. We've seen samples of this. Yeah, I'm sure among your friend group, a guy gets a little money like this. You've seen them. Yeah, some chick gets you've seen them. How they change. And this is a human thing. So it's just, you have to create guardrails. People have to be restricted in many things, because people are crazy. People can do crazy things. Because in a mass, umati, people can do crazy things. So anyway, let me first of all, let me just continue. First, I wanted to need the chat. Okay.
Chaos. How are they going to be paid back? This question they should be telling it. Those who are funding the activists, how are they going to recover their money? I think this is a very pertinent question they should answer.
The thing is this, the way they recover their money is that they have disproportionate influence on how things are done in a country. The resources part. Budgets being assigned from the exchequer, that's a one way. Having access to a certain market. Maybe you're an NGO, but you're coming with Bill Gates, so you need some vaccine market, whatever. So you have access to a market, to have political influence, to change culture. Yes, this is some of the things that people don't understand. It because it's not obvious. Because a lot of the stuff that activists come and talk about, oh, we need to change this, we need to change that, this needs to improve whatnot. Those are legitimate gripes. Those are very legitimate. But the thing is this: they use that they piggyback on that suffering. You see, and they cannibalize that entire thing to make money. And a lot of the times they have to have you wild up so that you can act accordingly. If you're going for protests and they see hundreds of thousands of people on the streets, how the funders know, our guy has power on the ground. That's what it shows. Because they don't show their hand. Boniface Mangi would come out and say, oh, by the way, I funded that protest or this what. They won't say it. Just straight up say, by the way, I have like 13 million I spent on this. We bought this, we printed this, some airtime here, we went to media here, all this paid for. They won't tell you that, but that's what they do. So really this caught my attention so much. So let's just go, because this Wanaharakati Wanalipwa, that was the main thing. So yes, they do get paid. I've seen this video a lot. The vast gap between self-exiled activists and youth facing danger on the ground remains a highly critical subject of local anger, revealing how the vulnerable were used online. Wanaharakati Wanalipwa. So this is the thing is this. The thing is this. You have to, a lot of us ordinary wananchis, there's this mentality we have that the people that are in power, the people we admire, necessarily care for about us, like what we want, or like there is that fake assumption we have. But they don't. You always have to be vigilant. Somebody has to lead, yes. But the reason we have all these rules, regulations, and constitution and whatnot is to tame these people, to tame anyone who gets in there. That's the main thing. So as far as I'm concerned, let me see if there's anything interesting. Let me see what this one has to say here.
We are guided.
Let's see what this have to say, because I don't want to spend a lot of time with this. I thought
we are guided by two people. I don't know how I should describe them. They are activists indeed. One is living in the US, and the other is living in Kenya. Maria Salum is living in Kenya, and Mange Kimambi is living in the USA.
Yeah. So all those, because you see the way they trend, and they're not even on the ground, but they seem to be having the messaging just right, to push this button. Also, there's of course collaboration with other activists on the ground. So that's what happens. People don't understand that protests and activism and NGOs, they're an entity in itself in every country that can be used to sway elections, to do a lot of things that as I've described previously. So this is not something you look at and feel comfort when somebody is shouting about your rights. You don't even know why, because the main reason they give is they care and they want this, but they don't really, because they're not transparent to themselves. A lot of them actually want to get into government. That's why you're seeing them. The Maragas, former Chief Justice. Yeah, a guy who's in Gava is telling us today he's an activist now, going to be arrested. But let's see that one.
So
let's listen to that.
To go to the streets, and you ask them what do they aim at. They say they want the president to vote.
But you see, this is the thing about manufacturing consent. All the messaging, social media, the hashtags, the posters, the media reports, and all this manufacturing consent that the entire country wants this. Which is really how a lot of politics is done, especially in the times when there was no free flow of information. That's why the first thing that goes is the internet. Yeah. So when something is about to be toppled, the internet, just know that, because the flow of information necessitates that you know what's going on at every moment. So any anomalies can be questioned by millions immediately. That cannot be allowed. So I'm not speaking for or against. I'm just giving you information the way I understand it. So anyway,
I can say the online authority from these two ladies plus 3 or 5 others.
We had those figures in Kenya ourselves. Yes, we had the figures online, like people from nowhere, like, we had those figures. How do you think those guys come to be? It's not an organic the way you think.
Kimambi and the Sarungi, Maria, actually they were the big force that...
They are not the big force. They are the faces. They are the people who are funded to do the thing.
Orchestrate.
That's why the question has to be clear. Who's funding and for what purpose? Sometimes it's not necessarily a bad thing. Some people, you have to be objective. Sometimes it's not necessarily a bad thing. But most of the time, it's not a good thing. So the problem is usually you need information to decide which one is what. And that's information that we are rarely given.
The process.
Maria Sarungi Sehai is a key figure in Tanzania's opposition. Born to Philemon Sarungi, a serial cabinet minister and high-ranking Nyerere loyalist, and his Hungarian wife, Maria was raised in the exclusive Oyster Bay district of Dar es Salaam.
Yeah, by the way, most of these activists, they come from either middle class or upper middle class, or just from rich families. Yes, so the wengi wako hapo, not all of them, but wengi wanatokanga from affluent backgrounds. That's their way of, how can I put it? Is it their way of trying to be relevant more than their parents who are greater than them, who have all the money, who've done the great things, even if it's stealing in the government? Even if it's stealing in government, so those are their. They have to like but his dad went there and he won elections and he did what can I do? Here, me I can be a goody two shoes, and we have to fight for you, human rights, women rights, rights of the everybody.
Which was one of the few places in Tanzania that was insulated from the IMF's painful neoliberal austerity.
Mange Kamambi is the Los Angeles-based daughter of a successful entrepreneur.
Yeah, you see, they all come, like a lot of these Africans who are Majuba, they went and became woke because it's like it endears them to this certain, I don't even know why. They woke have such ridiculous ideas, but they can give you money. If you pander enough and you form a brand, Africa Unite or something about diversity or whatnot, you can eat some money.
Tanzania's construction industry, and the stepdaughter of a former Director General of Tanzania's National Institute for Medical Research.
Of course.
Having grown up in a luxury residence at the Mbezi Beach suburb of Dar es Salaam before later moving to the US, she, like Maria Sarungi, took no part in the national pain of Tanzania's SAP era.
Okay, so there's something, so they're cooking something and whatnot. So this looks like Tanzanian government fighting back with their narrative now. This is the thing, both these people are assholes. Both these entities. Now you see they are fighting for power. You see, like, why would such activists have such power against like a whole state? I know some people want to say, oh, people power. No. You've been propagandized, my friend. But you see where they come from, where all these people come from. You can tell that they are the watu tu group moja yani. So even a lot of politicians also have NGOs. They've registered NGOs. They're doing even them NGO stuff. So there's money. What do you mean? There's a lot of money. Anyway. You can tell me what you think. Over here, I'm checking my Ginene. Excellent. My internet is excellent today. I can even see everything. This is so amazing. Chemnet, yes, I have to big up Chemnet. Chemnet hapa mmenifungulia mwanya fulani. By the way, these streams will start being 10 in the morning. This is just because my schedule is all over the place. But 10 in the morning. Most of the time, or I'll just, because now I have Nikona internet ready. My internet is electric. 50 Mbps upload. Get in there. So let's jump in to this money. There's 15 people are charged for stealing $90 million. Let's find out how much that $90 million is. 90 million dollars to Kenya ceiling. $90 million to 11 billion. Omera, are you seeing the money? Are you I want you guys to see here. 11 billion Kenya shillings. That's what was stolen. That was $90 million. So this one is from the Economic Times. Let's listen in to what this gentleman here is saying. You can see the American, this is RFK Kennedy. Yes, this one.
You will see a subject depicted on the screen here of an individual who was a target of the investigation this morning. That individual is currently on the run after having jumped out of a fourth story balcony. I want you to get a good look at him right now. You'll see him. You'll see him running here. He is currently on the run. We need your help.
This money is difficult. Hey, siku imefika. Hey, my friend. No, I was watching I was watching when these guys were exposing the fraud in Minnesota, the Somali community especially. It was just weird, the response that was there, the sort of dismissive arrogance, and it was so weird. And I thought, because I think the government was losing the PR game a bit, not so much, but a bit. So they decided, no, let's just take a step back. We just now target one by one. And you see now even they are going for the politicians. Ilhan Omar, I hear there's trouble there. She has some cases also. My friend, America.
If you recognize this individual, if you know this individual, if you can provide any information related to this individual, I would encourage you to call 1-800-CALL-FBI, CALL-FBI, or go to the internet at www.tips.fbi.gov or call your local law enforcement.
Today, we are announcing criminal charges against 15 defendants in Minnesota for fraud schemes that targeted over 90 million in taxpayer dollars.
So now this is the thing. They just go because now the protests in Minnesota were creating a bit too much of a PR. It was not looking good. It was messy. So they stepped back and they went individual by individual. They just come pick you. They put you in. They tell you, by the way, here we've been following you for 3 years. You know, this FBI, by the time they come for you, they have evidence yote. That they have like a ridiculous success rate, like 95% or something prosecution rate. Like it's because they don't really take you to court unless they have everything. So you can see my friend is running there. So we know what's up.
Let me be clear up front about something. This is not the end of our work in Minnesota.
I'm telling
This is not the end of the beginning of our work in Minnesota. This is the beginning of our work in Minnesota. The fraud here in Minnesota is shocking.
Oh, my neighbor.
Our cases today involve 7 different state-managed Medicaid programs that have been systematically pilfered by fraudsters.
Bro, the way they were doing this thing, it was... What I found to be very interesting was how blatant it was. Like they would just have a office, a room. They say something like 100 kids are coming there, but this was actually, that's why it went on for so long. So what they would do, they'll have like a place they'll just hire. It's not even like for the enough people. They say 100 people come there, so they'll be billing the government for 100 children because it's the government paying for this. Now, what they will do, they'll split the money with the parents that they recruit. They'll recruit parents, oh, your kid. But they won't be bringing the kids. What they will do, the mothers, will, you see like Somalis, the mothers stay at home, most of them, and the big families. So the mothers will stay home, but they are getting paid from this money that the government is being charged. I personally think this is the thing. If they could concoct that, and why could they just make it a legit business? You know, like majority of them are not legit. Why not just do the job, man? You've already got the cake. The government is giving you money. Like you just give them an invoice, they just pay you, even for non-existent work. Why can't you just do it properly? It will take slightly longer, but maybe you could reduce the time by being better at the job, knowing biashara, marketing, whatever. Like why not Africans? Okay, it's not just us, but right now I'm dealing with Africans here. When you go abroad, you start stealing. Now you make it hard for everybody to go to America. Say, those people, they just come to steal. We have Kisis there, Kenyans. Although Kenyans, they have mostly a positive, and because most Kenyans who are there really just work and biashara and whatnot. But we have the scumbags. Our country is full of scumbags. Why would you think Kenyans that are in America are not scumbags? We have, and we've seen the cases. I will show you some case here real quick. But I wanted to show you guys the Maraga guy when he was being arrested. You know, those things are so performative. You think that they're actually being arrested because it is all for the camera, so they look like they are being downtrodden. Anyway,
who
I
treated
digress.
Minnesota-run programs as their personal piggy bank. One of the programs has been completely shut down because there's no money left. It's all gone. That was Minnesota's state-run Housing Stabilization Services Program, designed to help the homeless find and maintain housing.
Housing
It was estimated in
stabilization.
2020 that it would cost only about $2.5 million a
I'm telling you, this is why people immigrate to the West. The amount of resources are just available for you just being there. You know, like if you really know how to play if you know how to play the system, you know what kind of help is there. What did he call it? Let's see. What did he call it?
It was estimated in 2020 that it would cost only about $2.5 million housing program, designed to Minnesota's state-run Housing Stabilization Services Program.
Housing stabilization program. That, like, if you're homeless or maybe you want to transition, so you'll have a home that, you know, maybe you'll be given a job. Although these days it's mostly people don't work because the government money is too much. But so you had it such. Imagine if we had that in Kenya. Like, no, would anyone work? Let's be real. Let's be real. Personally, I think the poison of these Western countries is these social programs. Because too many people become reliant on them. Like America, their biggest percentage of their budget, $3 trillion or $4 trillion, goes to not the amount, but that's like the size of their budget. It goes, the majority of the budget goes to these social services, these ones. These are my Medicaid, manini, housings, you go to what? There's just EBT, that's eating, the food thing. Like, they have so many programs and they've so many people on them. And then this has actually, it was kind of like a band-aid because when they lost the manufacturing to China, Mexico, India, it was a band-aid because a lot of people just lost their jobs. So, and you see America, there people have guns. They can they can revolt hard. So what they did, just slowly, just manage the collapse, so to speak. Just slowly, just just pay here, let's get it there, like 30 plus trillion in debt. And it's coming from that. And then, of course, the army, they are superpower. They have to spend the most money because that's the cost of being a superpower, by the way. Having the biggest army, the biggest budget, the best weapons, and best intelligence, that is what it takes. Let nobody talk to you, oh, America spends too much money in military. Yes, that is what superpowers do. There's no superpower in history that has spent little money on their military. And the secret service and whatnot and investigation. My friend, don't joke around.
Designed to help the homeless find and maintain housing. It was estimated in 2020 that it would cost only about $2.5 million a year to fund this program, but it ended up costing almost 50 times that much, over $104 million by 2024 due to fraud. And because of all the fraud, Minnesota had to shut the program down in 2025, and now these services no longer exist for these vulnerable homeless populations. The same trends exist for other Minnesota-run taxpayer-funded programs. An autism program that cost the taxpayer $600,000 just 6 years ago skyrocketed to over $400 million. And to be sure, that number is not driven by supply and demand. It is not driven by healthcare or charity. It is fraud. To tackle this crisis, and it is a crisis in Minnesota, earlier this year, the Department of Justice surged 11 strike force prosecutors from across the country to be here on the ground fighting the rampant fraud targeting our taxpayer-funded programs. And large numbers of agents from our partners at the FBI, HHS-OIG, HSI, IRS-CI, and others joined our prosecutors to rapidly unmask fraudulent actors in Minnesota. These agents and prosecutors have been working around the clock to root out the criminals stealing taxpayer dollars, and I am proud of all they accomplished in such a short time. Their hard work made today possible. Make no mistake, today's charges are unprecedented. They include the highest loss amount ever charged in a Medicaid case in Minnesota and the largest autism fraud scheme ever charged by the Department of Justice. The common theme throughout these cases is fraudsters exploiting vulnerable programs and vulnerable people to enrich themselves, no matter the consequences to the programs or to the people.
No, he's playing PR over there. The thing is, the vulnerable people are getting also a cut. So it is because the other people are many, so they are trying to just restrict it to the people who are actually running the scam. So the others are being named as, innocent bystanders, innocent victims. They were lied to. He said he's gonna pay me because the government said whatever you could say, but they were in on the scam. So,
for example, one defendant is charged with defrauding the Integrated Community Supports Medicaid program. This program is designed to help individuals with disabilities live independently. One patient was supposed to be receiving 24-hour care through this program, but he was actually being serviced by a fraudster and received no services.
no money.
This patient was later
nothing.
found dead.
Feel.
Meanwhile, the architect of this fraud scheme was billing
These
Medicaid
guys are
as if
building
he
a
was
case.
providing care to this patient. The defendant even submitted a claim of over $400 for services he never provided the day before this man died. In another example, 2 defendants have been charged for defrauding a program designed to offer medical services to those with autism spectrum disorder. As alleged, the defendants paid kickbacks to parents who brought their children to autism centers, diagnosed children with autism regardless of medical necessity, and billed for
My
autism
friend.
services that were never actually provided.
America has enough autistic kids for you to all have something. But now, this is so African. You just layer a scam. No, you're autistic. Come. Wink. Let's see. Wink. You're autistic. Mom, I call autistic $1,000. Quick.
In one final example, 2 defendants have been charged in an over 22 million fraud scheme involving the Individualized Home Supports Program. This program was meant to support disabled individuals who wanted to live in their own homes. Instead, these disabled individuals were used like lottery tickets by these defendants to generate millions of dollars, which these defendants
you have to
used to
generate
expand
millions
their
of
real
dollars,
estate
man.
holdings, purchase luxury
Generate.
vehicles, and splurge on expensive jewelry. We will not, full stop, tolerate this greed and deceit. We will not let fraudsters bankrupt Medicare and Medicaid the same way that they bankrupted the Housing Stabilization Services Program. As mentioned, this is just the beginning. With the support of President Trump, Vice President Vance, Acting Attorney General Blanche, Chairman Ferguson and the White House Anti-Fraud Task Force,
Where is the
Secretary
Kenya
Kennedy,
stuff?
Dr. Oz and his
Only for
team,
the
and
Kenya
the entire
staff.
federal fraud fighting
Let's see. Yes, let's see that Kenya. It's coming.
apparatus,
Let's wait.
the Department of Justice
listen
will
to
continue expanding our reach
prosecutor over
across the
here.
country to pursue all fraud, no matter how large, no matter how small, no matter how hard. Since April 1st, DOJ's Fraud Division has announced over 450 fraud enforcement actions nationwide, representing billions of taxpayer dollars.
Billions.
And this week already, we're delivering results coast
As billions of shillings are stolen from us every day. Sisi Uhuru alituambia. Uhuru told us billions of shillings are stolen from the Kenyan exchequer daily. These ones are still doing amateur stuff. The Somalis have come to show them now. But them, they do like big, like weapons manufacturing, food, like let's take over all the fast food, that level.
to coast with a trial conviction in Brooklyn involving a 40 million drug distribution and fraud scheme, and a trial conviction in Los Angeles involving a 40 million Botox injection fraud scheme. To expand our reach, we are announcing.
The Americans, you can charge the government for anything. Botox, get in. Yes, we have a program for Botox. I'm sure you can find a sorrowful way or some deformity that you want to fix. You know, you can find that then. Right now they're using it for the trans people. These are the programs those trans people use now. Government in Wanalipwa, if you want to you want to add your boobs and you want to do some laser hair removal, or what is it? If you want to craft a punani from a ogofaf.
Today the expansion of the healthcare fraud Midwest Strike Force to Minnesota and the hiring of 15 additional prosecutors dedicated to combating Medicaid fraud nationwide.
People are going to jail.
These additional resources will ensure that the DOJ's fraud division will be better equipped to stop fraud and hold criminals accountable. My message to the Minnesota community and to all of America is this: if you see something that seems too good to be true, tell us.
By the way, this entire thing, you see that it's the public pressure that this guy, it's like a 21-year-old guy, Nick Shirley, is the one who went just with his key, DJI there recording, when going to learning layering centers. Now, when that thing, you see, the media is us now. Like that guy, just a guy, he knew that this was happening. It was not even difficult to get. And he recorded, and then the reaction, and you see these guys, the way they react, and they start, oh, racist. So you are stealing, but if I come to do investigation, as all journalists should, yes, to find out the truth, then you see these emotional manipulations and using things like racism, misogyny, I don't know what. If you go after a woman who's doing something wrong, that's misogyny. If you go after a black guy, that's racism. Come on now. Like we are not incapable of being bad for just being bad, for corrupt, and we are not incapable of being thieves. What are you people talking about? But America, that's the currency. And for a very long time, I think it's wearing off because people overused it because it became ridiculous. Now, when they got to the point of telling people now, you have to call this man a woman. It's just, and that's just one thing, but so many other things, so much woke nonsense, identitarian this. Then they've singled out the whites. Now, of course, they also started singling out the Asians. So it seems the successful people. It is what it is. Yeah, it is, in my opinion, an envy campaign. Why would I be mad? And every time I'm calling white people racist, unless I have low self-esteem. You're looking at, hey, they've invented this, they've done that. So we always will try to dampen that because we act like we've not done the evil things they've done. We all do those evil things. So this thing of talking, oh, this one's slavery, there's slavery here right now. Like in Africa, what are you talking about? Even here in Kenya, there's slavery. What are you talking about? You guys, the pretense. But no. But now, let's give, because draw or whatever. But the inventions, the way they live, quality of life, what, all these housing transitionary things. Come on, man.
Areas. Such as in the
I think it defeats the purpose to follow failing cultures. That's what I mean. If cultures are failing, like you can see they are failing, they're so corrupt, they can't do anything. We can't manufacture anything. In fact, when the colonialists were here, when we had industry that spilled over a bit into after independence, but guess what? Almost everything. We just remained with tea and a bit of even coffee. Most of it gone. or at least a significant percentage of it, because we shut down all the manufacturing. Everybody ran to China. Americans also did that thing in some industries, a lot of their manufacturing. And you see, it's the downfall. You can't run away from not at least being sufficient in the important things. Self-sufficient, like feed yourself, have your own, can do your own roads, your own sewage. Just we have people talking about, I've done mechanical engineering, civil engineering, magachet. Nothing. You're not doing any of this work. You just have the tags, but you're not doing the work. There's no urban planning that's proper. Everybody just, let me just put mine here. Your corruption just blinds you, so you've become a buffoon. You can't use your knowledge if you have the little that you understood. You can't even use, because now you are corrupt. You have to steal, like with the people. I approve this one. Yes, this one is actually good. No, that one is not a problem. We shall deal with it. Kenyans, we know.
Care prosecutions we announced today, a culture of fraud has taken root, where child care centers even offer kickbacks to parents to enroll their children.
I told you.
If something sounds good to be true, it is. Do the right thing, speak out, help us win the fight against fraud. And now my message to the fraudsters is this: eat, drink, and be merry today, because your days of frolicking and freedom are numbered. We are doing everything we can to find you. And when we do, we will prosecute you, and we will claw back every dollar you have stolen from the American people. We will not rest.
So are they coming for our Somalis here, the money? Because a lot of money was repatriated here. We've seen a lot of developments. Some of these developments were funded by that money. This 90 billion. I hear there's more, but at least there's some of these people have purchased things here. This is, you can't hide 90 million, even $1 million. You can't. How are you passing with $1 million on the airport without it being at least accounted for? Unless you are so powerful, you have private jet and other things. If you have enough money, you are above the law. We all know this.
Until every fraudster knows that the cost of stealing from the American people is far higher than any scheme is worth. Thank you all for being here. I'll now turn the podium over to Secretary Kennedy.
Where is the Kenya
showing
stuff?
you that because that's the magnitude of the fraud and the damage that we're talking about today. And I want to thank Todd Blanche, who couldn't be here today, Colin McDonald, and everyone at the Department of Justice for leading this effort. I want to thank also the FBI, who you're going to hear from in a little while, the HHS Office of Inspector General, CMS, whose relentless work made today's action possible in American history. This was not a paperwork error. It was not a technical violation. This was organized threat, organized theft that exploited the most vulnerable children in America. Deceived families stole taxpayer dollars meant to help children with autism access legitimate parent support. Investigators uncovered brazen schemes that billed taxpayers for non-existent services, fraudulent diagnoses, and fake care, while criminals enrich themselves at public expense. Every fraudulent autism diagnosis steals time,
that is our
and
culture.
resources from the children for whom this program was denied and who desperately need this care.
Money.
Families with autistic children already face enormous challenges navigating therapies, specialists, and support systems. Fraud makes those barriers even steeper. America is facing a real autism crisis. Today, approximately 1 in every 31 children is diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder.
It's that there's actually quite a bit with that. Like the amount of this neural diseases, and a lot of these diseases, mental, a lot of it is the diet, some of the things they've been fed and whatnot, and then now there's this mass psychological experiments they're doing with people on social media, See how crazy they can drive, yo.
Significant share of autism-related services nationwide, and spending has risen dramatically over the last decade, and a lot of that spending is because of fraud. When criminals exploit these programs, taxpayers lose billions, and vulnerable children lose their access to care.
Where's the
Healthcare
Kenya
fraud
thing?
now costs the United States tens of billions of dollars every year, for payments at $100 billion annually. That fraud drives up healthcare costs for all Americans. It weakens public trust. It drains taxpayer resources and threatens. We fail to confront the fraud aggressive. Americans rely upon them. This administration has this was executed with a precision and speed that is unprecedented in the history of law enforcement. And leadership. We're restoring accountability, strengthening oversight. Opportunity will continue rooting out fraud because every stolen dollar is a dollar taken from a child.
Marks, I need your help. On the screen, you will see a subject. You will see a subject depicted on the screen here.
Oh, that's
of an individual
when
was a
it
target of
began,
investigation
yes.
this morning. That individual is currently on the run after having jumped out of a fourth story balcony.
No, ndio huyo hapa. There is the feline. The feline is here.
I want you to get a good look at him right now. You'll see him. You'll see him running here. He is currently on the run.
The guy
need
hurt
your
himself.
help. If you recognize this individual, if you know this individual, if you
Bring him
if you can
closer,
provide
we
any
see. But
information
is there any prize money? FBI, CIA, is there any kind of money we can look for him? But
related to this
online
individual,
CID,
I would
find him.
encourage you to call 1-800 call FBI CA.
You guys, do you know this person? They must have money for people who will find him. Come on now.
LLFBI, or go to the internet at www.tips.fbi.gov or call your local law enforcement. Obviously, this morning our partners have gone into a lot of the details of today's charges, so I'll try not to repeat what was already said.
Yeah, please.
What I would like to do, however, is speak briefly about about the FBI's work in this particular fraud space.
Come on.
We're running roughly 3,300 investigations related to healthcare fraud across the country, based as some of those other threats we work. But let me be clear. This work is just as crucial, just as important.
Where is the Kenya story,
Because
Omera?
healthcare fraud is not a victimless crime. It targets our most vulnerable population demographic.
He said the same thing. I thought they were going to. They said, "Oh, right here, they bought properties in Kenya with healthcare money." Okay, so why didn't you? Anyway, let's this guy. So I found this video from Kenya Diaspora. He has like 38 subscribers. It's like a new channel. So let me give him a quick like over there. Let's listen to this guy. He hired and trained nurses to steal millions from U.S. citizens. The story of David Mugai Jenga. David Mugai Jenga is one of the individuals that are behind bars right now. Yes, this is one of the Kenyans there who are making getting visas difficult. Let's listen to what they saw. These are new channels, but I thought the video was good. So let's.
It is 3 a.m. in a nursing home in Yakima, Washington. A woman in blue scrubs stands over an 8-year-old man. Her palms are sweating, making the rubber glove sleek. She holds a plastic cup with 3 yellow pills. She doesn't know what they are. She doesn't even know how to wrap the blood pressure cuff around the arm of the old man. In her pocket is a nursing license that says she's a registered professional. But that name on the card, it isn't hers. She's a ghost in the system. Thousands of miles away, a family in Kenya is proud. Their son, David Mugai Njenga, has made it in America. He's a
convicted in 3.5 million Medicaid fraud scheme using stolen nurse IDs. So he steals identities, then he gives them to random people to go here and steal from the pensioners. Is there? I think that was it, right? God damn.
CEO. He's sending money home. He's the pride of the family. but the bridge he built to carry them all was made of stolen names and lives he was willing to trade for $1.
Registered nurse Sarah Warren is here with me now to talk about how dangerous this could be. First, I know a lot of people are thinking, how in the world does this happen? Had you ever heard of something like this happening?
David Mungai Njenga wasn't always a kingpin. In 2013, he was just another Kenyan in the diaspora, fighting to keep his feet on the American soil. He sat in a courtroom in Seattle as a judge told him his petition to stay is denied. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeal wasn't interested in his changed circumstances back in Kenya. The threat of being sent back to Jomo Kenyatta International Airport with nothing but a suitcase and the failure label is a terrible thought for him. For a Kenyan man abroad, that's a fate worse than prison. Therefore, David decides he won't be a victim of the system. He will become its master. He moves to
So I don't know if this guy is trying to, I don't know if it's a small justification, I don't know, but he decided to steal so that he can stay. So you steal to stay in America because now his immigration status is that he has to go back to Kenya because they've denied him residency. Yes. So anyway, we've had many here. We've had many that have come back that have been deported, but some came back with money. They were smart or they were done transfers, whatever. FBI wanafuata pole pole. When they get you, you know it is 100%. You're in.
Washington. He starts a company called Heritage Medical Staffing. To his neighbors, it's a success story. He smells like expensive cologne. He talks about providing opportunities, but behind the office door, David is a scavenger. He starts hunting for names, real nurses who spent years in libraries and cold hospital wards to earn their licenses. He finds 5 of them. He takes their license numbers and their hard-earned reputation. He gives them the stolen names. He prints fake IDs. He was gambling that the American healthcare system was so desperate for cheap labor, so blinded that they won't check if the person holding the syringe actually knew how to save a life. And for 2...
Hey, but you can't even get people who actually know how to do the basics, like inject, look at the vein. Unajua pia these scammers, anyway, it's not, nobody has ever really accused scammers like of being the smartest people, because it's the shortcut part. Because the smart people, they don't need to scam. They already know how to do the thing, whatever it is that's legal or whatever. So this guy, I'm not saying you go do this. This is not criminal advice. YouTube. What I'm saying, what if we just got people who know even how to just inject and do basics? You have to get anyway. Bottom feeders are the ones who are desperate to scam anyway.
2.5 years, he was right. The money starts pouring in. Heritage Medical Staffing becomes Pro-Med Alliance Medical Staffing. The nursing homes in Bothell, Redmond, and Shoreline are writing checks for thousands of dollars. David is keeping the lion's share, tossing his imposters a few crumbs compared to what a real nurse earns. But in 2019, a woman in Pierce County gets
but you're a scumbag. You're not supposed to be paid like the nurse who's qualified. If you're in a scam, don't cry about being underpaid and you're in a scam. What the hell? Just be underpaid, even not be paid at all. You see, in my happiness is to see that as many people scam are also scammed, or they don't get what they wanted, or they get just a taste, and then they never get it again. Just to torture them, because this is the thing. We've become societies full of scumbags. There are people who have money, the people in government, they're all scumbags. So for me, I'm just that way. I'm just like, if they can just lose, the more they lose, the better. Like Mugai Jega
or caught in a lie. She's holding a fake ID. She's claiming to be a nurse. When the police start peeling back the layers of a story, the trail doesn't lead to a nursing school. It leads straight to a suburban house in Kent, straight to David. David is sitting at his desk. He hears a heavy knock on the door. It is not a client. It is the Medicaid Fraud Control Division. At the same time, investigators start talking to the real nurses whose identities have been stolen. When the trial finally opens in King County Superior Court in 2026, David sits in the courtroom. No more expensive cologne. Just the smell of
David,
fear. He
Daudi,
watches as the prosecution
Daudi over there. Daudi, how many years did they put him in?
described the imposters who couldn't even take a pulse, the people who handed out the wrong medication.
That's what I'm saying. Like some of these things, like taking a pulse, you know, getting a vein for a syringe. Like if you have that, man, you could at least. Like, at least you wouldn't, because I know how many people they kill now in those nursing homes because of bad medication or not, whatever it is that they're doing. Like, how many? Anyway, scumbag, umepatikana.
To grandmothers who couldn't fight back. On May 28, 2026, the jury comes back. 11 counts, guilty on all of them. Now David is waiting for June 16, 2026. He's looking at 12 to 16 years in a concrete box. His business partner, Evelyn Juki, has vanished. David's story is a warning written in the names of real nurses.
Boss, there's a jockey. There's a jockey who was the accomplice. I think she ran. I think she's she's in the Kenya or something. Oh, Lord of mercy. We are. You see, we cultivate these things. You see, people, even if Americans are corrupt by themselves, nobody likes competition in their own home in corruption. They would they would accept, but also they are not as rabid as us in corruption, because culturally it is just because even they have to shroud it in a lot of long-term scams. We are feeding the poor, the drug addicts. We are giving drug addicts syringes, so there's money that will be given to that for years and years, and there's a certain person who's gotten the tender who will be supplying. That's like, but they have to have something that's always there, otherwise the money doesn't come out. Anywho, let's switch to the wave of student arrest. Yes, there's a wave of student arrest that has engulfed the country. Now, I told you, you guys have raised feral children that have no discipline nor impulse control. Now, what has happened is, couple that with an incompetent administration in schools, corrupt administration, you find the meals problem. We've always had meals, even my time, like problem with like headmasters eaten the money, so you won't have meat or sufficient meat, or you won't have certain, like the nyoyo, it's not been fried properly. You know those things. We've seen, us personally, I went to the school I went to, Maseno, and there was a bus. We had a school bus that had an accident before I came into the school in 1993. Then from 1993 till I left in 1996, we were paying for the bus every term. And I only saw the bus briefly in the last term or second last term of Form 4. And I never saw it again. And as it were, nobody ever saw it again. But there were literal millions of shillings that were given by parents for that endeavor. So what do you find? That the parents kind of just accept it, because also there's this stalemate they have with teachers and head teachers. I will kick out your child. I will do it. So there's always that. There's some vindictiveness, because a criminal organization, you have to have the arm twisting, because that's what I call this. The criminal organization, our schools, where corruption is rife, where toilets are not cleaned, man, for eons, man. Like, let me tell you, can I tell you the thing that traumatized me the most in high school? The toilets. Oh my good, like that is prisoner level existence. And that thing of having, it's not all schools. Like, I've gone to like, there's some schools I went to, like, where they keep them clean and everything, the water and everything. But majority, like, if you just move out of some civility, just dirty toilets, just feces everywhere. Just, I'm telling you, that thing is what got me to a place where I don't even, if I go somewhere and I smell that, I can't take a shit. I'll just hold it till wherever I go. I don't care. I am not doing it. I am not doing it. Anyway, that's just a glimpse. We all know this. We've passed through this. We know. And now, you're coupling it also with now the kids who are your feral kids, just drug addicts, running to have sex here, going to drink there, and then when they come home, they just tell you, oh, mommy, oh, mommy. And you tell them, no, imagine you can't do Denzel, you can't do that. Hey, you see, that is the environment these people are growing up in. They either a helicopter parent there who doesn't want anything bad to happen to their child. It's not that they are taking care of them. They just they want to protect the child. They are given anything they want and they never hear no. And then of course there is no discipline. There is no imparting of the virtues of hard work and the normal things. So right now, and they have communication, WhatsApp. We've bought them phones. Why are you buying your kids phones? Oh, we need to communicate. Shut up. Come on. That's nonsense. You don't need to communicate with your child. You can communicate through the teachers and the administration, as it's always been. Now, this one, you're giving these hormonal children phones to plan how they can expend that energy. And then you want to, I want to get in touch with, like, come on. Just, you see, if your child doesn't make it in high school, it's national selection. This is high school where you go and you eat some bland cabbage and ugali. If you can't survive that, your child you're cooked as a parent. They'll be living with you at home till they're 50. As with some, by the way, these rich kids, you see some. Anyway, let's continue.
Of school closures sweeping Kenya shows no sign of slowing down. Tonight, more schools are sending their learners home, 4 of them in Kisii County, where the effect of...
How about we see? I know Kisii school must be there. Kisii school haiwezi kosa kwa hizi mashinanigans. I have not watched this, so Kisii school has Michael.
What parents are now calling mob psychology is playing out in real time. Kitui School also released students
groups
this morning after unrests broke out on its campus late last night.
Eti where? Omera where?
Mob psychology is playing out in real time. Kitui School also released students this morning after unrests broke out on its campus late last night. Basic Education Principal Secretary Julius Bitok maintains that there is no cause for alarm.
This is the thing. The schools are so badly administered, so badly run. These kids know they can get away with these things because they've dealt with their scumbag teachers and their corrupt administration. They know them. You see, this is the thing. Like, we do things as grown-ups, as the 40s, 50s and going forward. You do things that... How do you think they digest that? And how do they replicate? How would they respond to that? Majority of them will just be like, why do they need to work hard and whatnot and learn things if you just steal from your job? Why does he need to work hard when he can just steal the exam the way you steal elections? Why does he need to do that? Because a lot of people want to... everybody wants to jump around when the thing is actually happening. The fuse has been lit now, the fire is burning. That's why everybody has forgotten all the years, all the things and all the excuses you gave for the corruption and the bad service and the whatnot. All the excuses, the fear, my child will be kicked out. Why is that a thing? Why would a head teacher? Well, you guys... Your kids can organize and do some crazy stuff. You guys can't organize to kick out a headmaster. You are the people who run the school. No, because among you, there are people who are corrupt with the head teacher. So they will not... You see? So the stalemate is there. You are not getting out of this easy, my friend.
Out that out of all secondary schools in Kenya, fewer than 100 have faced unrests. He insists the academic calendar will stay intact.
Kereri girls. So Kereri girls, Kisii High School is just their neighbors. This on the same road. When you're coming from Nairobi, before you get into town. Kereri Girls is... Kisii High is over there, just next to, on this side, on the left.
Kereri Girls High School in Kisii County. Sunday morning, parents arrived to collect their daughters who had, like students in a number of schools in Kenya, simply demanded to go home. The decision to close was reached after consultations with the Board of Management.
These kids don't want to learn. They don't want to spend any time in school. They just want to be home, having fun, watching TikToks, doing TikToks. You've destroyed this. I'm telling you, 2 of our generations cooked. We have generations netting. Now, that is my age mates and other people's fault. Yes, it's our fault. But this is the thing. This problem has already... It's just about to get out of control. These people can still be contained. Because right after high school, these days, they can just get online and start being hoes. And they can make money, these girls. Or they can just start looking for it somewhere, whatever. They can go to working at a shop or selling things. Selling things. What are you talking about? These days, see, they'll just get on Instagram and look sexy and get offers. And Maisha goes, she gets her first child, another one. Life iendelee, hapa vipi?
Parents Association and Ministry of Education officials.
Tulipata notification jana.
Jana ulipata notification ya.
Toka kwa walimu kwa message ya WhatsApp kwamba tukuje wanafunzi. So I think it is because of the tension of what is going on around the country.
No, you guys don't want to discipline your kids. You think someone will just do it for you. Slap those kids senseless. Watch our lale nje. Let them go act adult now. Now you have to capitulate to our children. Why are you capitulating? In fact, they come back and they should slash the entire... They remove all the overgrown grass. They cut it. They go burn. They go to the gardens. If you have gardens and farms, they work there for a week before anything else happens. But you're not going to do that now. You're not going to discipline these vagabonds you've created.
By Sunday morning...
You want all of us to deal with this. Your
more schools in the Gusii region had also sent students home. That is...
Bro, Kisii High is not here. Kereri, Nyambaria, Rio Kindo, Nyanchwa, Kitui. So Thika, no Kisii High.
Nyambaria, Rio Kindo, and Nyanchwa boys.
I read somewhere that Kisii High also the other thing. I don't know why it's not. Maybe it's late. I don't know.
In Kitui, unrest broke out at 11:41 Saturday night, forcing the principal to ask parents to pick up their children on Sunday morning.
These teachers are not paid enough to deal with your vagabonds. Come take... I think this sort has happened. Oh, these people, they might... You've seen students attack teachers at some... even there were cases where students they need killed a teacher. So it's very obvious to them. They can see how you guys are behaving. This mob justice will just... They're like, come pick your feral children and take them away. Yeah, I think that's what's going on. That's what should happen.
Parents that all students were safe and accounted for. Sunday evening, officials at Thika High School sent out an alert for parents to come and pick up the students following pressures from outside the school. Yesterday, Kabianga and Tengecha boys in Kericho County sent students...
I told you, Kisii School. I told you, touched school captain's room. I told you Kisii School cannot be left out. Kabianga High, Tengecha. Tengecha is like between the Kericho, like Tengecha also has some Kisiis there. Kisii High. walienda head boy Sironga, Kisii pia ni Nyamira, Nyamira. Moi Girls, Nairobi, Chianda High School, all dormitory fire. Hey, you guys have... Maybe, by the way, watoi wenu wakileta ujinga near me. Mimi ndio ule ulimwengu. Mimi am the ulimwengu. These kids of yours, Mimi ndio mulimwengu. Deal with them before they come to this side. Because they also have found they're very flimsy kids. They can't even fight. They're just like a bunch of just ants just everywhere. Take care of these people before they come to Walimwengu. Deal now to Utashanga. I'm telling you.
It's home. The day before, Kisii school closed after students set the school captain's room alight.
Oh, these guys had even done it before.
Parents visiting day. Kakamega High School followed after a dormitory fire destroyed the Hobley dormitory.
Tenwek. Okay.
Girls closed
Kisumu girls. KG also become vagabonds.
Emptively.
I have to laugh at this. As in, this has been cooking for years. Also, we've seen it, but now to check it.
After intelligence of planned unrest, Bungoma High, Sironga girls, Tenwek boys, and Chianda and Siaya have also closed. Lenana, Nairobi School, St. George's Girls, Alliance High, and Loreto Limuru have all sent students home as well.
Hey, at national schools, yeah, of course. These days, these schools are all. It's all the same. Things have fallen apart, my friend. Like in Alliance, I was in Alliance, I think last year recording something. It still looks fine, but you never know the operation.
Security agencies have warned that students are heavily leveraging social media and peer influence across county lines to coordinate the mass walkouts.
No, they're using WhatsApp. They don't need TikTok. WhatsApp. They send everything there. They send videos, everything. They plan everything. Why are you giving them phones, you buffoons? Your children don't need phones. They need to sit in those schools and get something. Just whatever it is. Just get it, some discipline, know how to think a bit. But no, you guys want babysitters. And these teachers don't want your nonsense. They don't want to deal with your children. They don't want to deal with your children.
Now unmistakably one, school closes and neighboring schools follow. A display of mob psychology.
Turudi kukua wazazi, tusaidie mashule, tusaidiane na walimu.
No. Mary Emese MP Teso South. This is all parents' work. There's no saidiana nini. Take your kids, discipline your kids. If your child is too difficult, throw them away. Yes, let them come out here. We deal with them. Life deals with them thoroughly. Then they come with their tails tucked between their legs to listen to what you have to say. You see, you guys don't want to do that. You don't want to kick out these people. They feel suffering properly. They suffer. You see, this lack of suffering is making people think that they can just do what they want. They can just destroy any chances they want, the investments you're making. But also, you are part of it. You are not caning them. You're not denying them things. Just make them suffer. If they're not listening, and you see, unfortunately, many of these are being raised in single mothers. These boys are too big. They can beat you. All you can do is just lock them out or send them to their father's house. But even then, you see, fathers can just kick out the person real quick. You mothers, oh, my child. Send them to their dads so that they kick them out. They sleep out there for a week. They come with a tail tucked. If they become a thief, we just lay jua ile hasara ni hasara. I mean, it happens. Like, why does the society has to suffer these people gladly? You and your people, your children who are just criminals in waiting. Why do we have to suffer them? Till now they decided we are not going to school. Then all of you are like, okay, daddy, just come home. Mnanibo.
Ndio Kenya ikuwe Kenya ambayo itaweza kusonga mbele.
Kama utaki mtoto wako afunzwe adabu, usipeleke kwa shule aende kuchoma wengine. Abaki na wewe hapo kwa nyumba mfunze. Anza na maji
I have mixed thoughts about caning in schools. I don't think it should be removed totally. I think there should be a healthy dose of canes to the buttocks. Regular. Especially for... You know, a lot of people, they turn out. No. You've tried this other thing. It's worse than when people are being caned. Let's be real about it. Let's be real. Yeah. There's a lot of things we didn't do because you knew the consequence was pain, the buttocks. You have to cane these people. And you have to kick them out totally. If they don't listen, they start telling you, mom, where kwenda? Kwenda, funga the door. Wacha akae uko nje anyeshewe siku mbili. You see kama atarudi kama ako hivi. You have to be serious. They have to understand that there is no, once they mess up, the payment is in full. Na akikuwa hivyo mara mbili tatu, just as I'm saying, there's a lot of waste in this world. I mean, not all your kids will turn out as you've seen. As hard as you try, you already know where they are right now. You are eating ng'ombe here inside ya mtu. You know. So when they become that, they become dangerous to other people. So you need to leave them. They come to Dunia, us and other people on the street. 2-3 days. The hardcore ones, of course, they'll find themselves in there, but those are the minority. The majority will just come back and cry at your feet and tell you, I'll never do it again, mommy. It's because your children, from the time they're like 3-4, like they're just running you. They just cry. Unaingia supermarket kimtoi kinajirusha chini etio hajachukua. My friend, you eat a slap and you think about your life. You just take that thing you are given, you go in the corner and enjoy it in peace. These excesses that now it is tantrums. Tantrum namna gani bwana? Chill out.
Fundisha mtoto wako nyumbani. Sio kupeleka mtoto nyumbani kwa shule boarding.
As some leaders blame the society for what's happening in schools.
It's not time for mentoring these students. Guidance and counseling departments are just there in them.
Parents.
They don't
Society ndio nini?
Teachers have
I mean society bwana.
Teachers trained for 844. Almost all of them. Now they're handling CBC to another senior secondary. They're coming with a different mindset completely.
The Ministry of Education has responded by a sweeping 16-point directive ordering immediate nationwide inspections of all boarding schools, mandatory CCTV installations, decongestion of dormitories, and a ban on joint mock examinations. PS Julius
This is what I call, this is pretentious. That you have to do the report and we do the thing. You know what the thing is. The thing is that all these schools are run by corrupt people. We know thieves and people who can't build anything. They can't teach your kids anything. The overhaul, mambo ya, okay, maybe this is now slap kidogo. Oh, you've not done this, you slap. You need to fire like half. Let them go back to the village, become drunks and disappear. Some things need to be we need a cleansing. Like these corrupt principals and the headmistresses and what. Just all of them. Just fire like half of them first. The warning shot. Then you can start afresh. Put in some younger blood over there. No, these 50, 60-year-olds will be there forever. Who've kitted mizizi in there so much they steal everything. They know which account where. No. It's not acceptable. Yes, they need to be fired like half of this. Kwanza the head teachers, like half. First, just fire half of them as a test first. And then you attach their pensions on whatever the school lost and stole. Yes, you just need to do it once or twice. And people will start just doing things the right way. Attach some real consequence. Oh, the teacher is here driving a Mercedes. Where? Where is a high school principal driving a Mercedes? Is that salary? Is it 120 or 130? Whatever it is. Mercedes.
Has deployed hundreds of additional school inspectors, and he has this message for anxious parents.
99.2% of our schools are safe. Learning is
fine. Julius B. talk. By the way, PSs used to be the smart people in the ministries. These are just political operatives with just headless, just nothing. We are coming here to fight the fire, span everything.
Going on well. Less than 80 schools around the country are the ones which have problem. And we are not going to change our term dates because of 80 schools.
PS Bitok may be right that...
Don't capitulate. These kids should be one of the ones who burnt this one. They all come back and build this thing from scratch. Mbaka it becomes what it was. They do the koroga, they do the cement, the bricks, kila kitu till they build. There has to be real consequences, you guys. I'm just telling you that you don't deal with these people properly. These are criminals. Once past, there's an age, once you get into your teenagers, we know just how bad people can be. So just get these people some real consequences and see.
Fewer than 1% of Kenya's schools are directly affected. But for the...
like that guy, is it Venezuela or one of these countries? The guy just came in and put everyone, even if you've ever sold 5 doms, some 5 joints, when Danny, he built state of the art, put every criminal inside. Like this, the society is back like this. It didn't take generations, it took a few years. Just put everyone just inside. Wacha wakule madondo huko, wahare kila mtu wenye nafanya ujinga, hata mimi nikifanya ujinga inside. TV. I'm telling you.
Families receiving urgent WhatsApp messages to come and collect their children, the percentage is 100. The midterm break is still over 2 weeks away. Whether the government's directive carry enough weight to hold the rest of the term together is the question Kenya is waiting to have answered.
There's nothing like giving these kids this disproportionate power. Like, kama nani? These people need hot slaps first of all. Schools in grace, so crowded dorms. So let's hear what these issues are. Yes, I've talked about them because I was ranting, but let's hear what these really issues are. These are there. I think since I've experienced them, I can't even just say to you, no, they're there. It's a compounded problem from both sides.
So for fire tragedies and unrest in schools has sparked concern in the country, with administrative and education officials continuing to search for a lasting solution. According to the Nairobi North Sub-County Education Office, the dilemma in some schools that are still in session is persuading students to remain in school despite receiving reports that their peers are at home. According to them, visits to...
They're at home enjoying and eating home food, and you are eating dry maram, aka nyoyo.
Various schools have revealed that there are underlying causes of unrest, with calls for teachers and students to communicate in order to resolve them. Several leaders, however, have continued to give differing opinions on the incidents and how to resolve them. And TV's Yugen Nambeka starts our broadcast tonight.
Waves of unrest in schools across the country have continued to raise concern.
These kids, these dorms never change, just the same.
With education stakeholders saying there are deep underlying causes.
Look at these buffoons. Okay, I'm telling you guys.
Behind the disruptions that have caused deaths and destruction of property.
They're telling us that they want to go home because of the major issue is meals.
Chakula, bala. The thing is this, there's more access to better food these days, and these kids, their palate is, us guys, you could eat that maram, you put your blue band there, you pour some roik on top, just try and add the flavor. So you persevere, you finish and you go do your things. But this one's now, we're at home, mommy, I want chips. No, oh, mommy, pizza. Hey,
so there's issues about congestion in their dormitories, which we've seen also.
Yeah.
And we are trying to decongest.
Now, there's actually, this one I've seen in one school, and the other parents and students talking about this. Like the head teachers got greedy because a lot of people who have kids, with IQ of 75, they bought sports from these schools. So, you know, the dunderheads, you remember them? The dunderheads, the guys who couldn't get anything. They just seated at the back, they're just dozing off after smoking something. You know them. So a lot of those guys, you see, they've been filled in there. Dunderheads, just the parent, you have to go there at least. You go to this school, you know, there's the name school, you know, like go to this school, get a certificate. Yes. But these kids get nothing. So what happens is these days they steal the exam. Even the dunderheads pass. Then they bring them out here. You ask them 2 questions, like this guy knows nothing. It doesn't even have the brain doesn't have the capacity to even wonder about that thing. That's the A minus. Go away with your 20 IQ.
Those dormitories. They're also talking about issues affecting them and their teachers.
Which is what?
Some of them are feeling that we are not communicating well. We are.
That's now that amorphous nurses are telling you are not communicating well. They don't respect us. Shut up. Kids are telling you don't respect us. Shut the hell up and listen, or go to the streets and stay hungry. I'm telling you guys, this is a very easy solution. It's just you guys don't want to do it. You don't talk to us well.
Spending the whole night awake. We are sleeping very few hours during the day.
No. You
so that we can try to at least reduce the tension on the ground.
However, these guys don't do jack shit. These buffoons here, this is incompetence personified. If you took all these IQs here, they're all accumulative. It's like 1 or 5. All of them. This one may be 20. Maybe no, this one 20, this one's like 13, this one is like 12, this is like 15, uyu ni wa 10. Yeah, maybe 172 or something. Useless people.
Education officers say that dialogue between teachers and students could improve the situation, noting that students complain that their teachers are not listening and the students do not have a proper way of articulating their issues. They have also dismissed the idea of sending students home early, saying it would depend
they don't know how to articulate. You see, they've learned this language from TikTok and those American kids and college kids who just, they want to just feel good all the time. They don't want to be challenged on anything. They don't want anything hard. So they'll make up things. So this is a mixture of things. You have to have nuance to think through such problems. Problem is you guys think you just want the one thing. 10 is the no, you're not going to solve the problem like that. You have so many problems. Some of these people are your kids are taking advantage because they've seen how they can manipulate your emotions using silly language, like they don't communicate well to us. The only thing you should be telling these guys, go there and stay there till I tell you to leave. All the bell rings. That's all. If somebody brings nonsense, canes. The buttocks.
Of conditions in each school.
They don't have, in most cases, a very good reason for wanting to go home.
Yeah, of course we know that.
Because their peers are at home.
Yes.
And that's why we are calling upon parents and all stakeholders that let's convince them and let them understand.
What do you mean, let's convince them? Punitive measures have never failed. Listen, yeah. These are children. They don't even know what they want. They only want a lot of food and freedom. From this hard-working, staying in school, taking care of yourself, washing your own clothes, eating maram. They want freedom from that. But you can't capitulate. We are not a first world country where you can offer everything at the best. So they have to deal like third world kids. You guys lie to them at home the way. No, third world kids, they have to understand. All these guys need to do hard manual labor at school. If they burnt anything, they built it. If they caused any damage, you also damage them. Buttocks. You have to cane them thoroughly. And all that has to be installed with serious discipline, on-time thing. There's no laughing in class or doing baby. No. regimented discipline. But these administrators can't do it because they're indisciplined themselves. They are running somewhere to do a kadil, aende kuna kapoko fahali analipa service. Like they are like that. These teachers you have are incompetent. They can't help you. You as parents, you're incompetent. You can't help yourself or your kids. What do you want?
There's come a time when principals are supposed to engage with the students. We have means of engaging with students. They can communicate through the suggestion box and listen to their...
You guys, you're giving high school kids suggestion boxes. To tell you what? They don't know anything. Who are we lying to that these people have suggestions that we don't know about? Just stop being corrupt and run the institutions the way it's supposed to be run. Stop stealing the money. Stop stealing the food money. Stop stealing the cleaning money and so the toilets look like... Stop stealing the money for repairs. What do you mean? Oh, we communicate with a suggestion box? This guy should be slapped with his punk ass. Who have money, you're dressing like a buffoon.
Communication. They can communicate through kamukunjis, listen.
I swear you guys are cooked.
Their communication and also provide what they require in their welfare.
Several schools in the area have been affected, with the government saying it has stepped up efforts to address the incidents, visiting schools, engaging students and teachers, and giving recommendations for immediate implementation.
When the unrest started, 3 of our schools were affected. That is Highway Secondary, Pumwani Boys, and Our Lady of Mercy Girls.
Look at these people. Who are these fuckers, man? Who are these? Who the fuck are these people? Who they are? Why do they have that same ape buffoon thief look? God damn.
Of the 3, only Our Lady are yet to resume.
However, Kiharu MP Ndindi Nyoro has proposed that the academic calendar be reviewed to give learners a break in the second term as a lasting solution to such incidents.
How? Just give them more time away from actually being productive. This guy is just being a populist. Like, useless, all this fuck. This is the guy you guys were praising the other day. Munyoro, Kunyoro. This is the guy you're praising. Oh, look, no. This is a populist. He'll destroy the schools to please the kids. Because they know you all are in a kind of silent agreement that you don't take responsibility for this your feral children. So you have like a populist here talking about saying nice...
He says there may be too much pressure on students and...
There's no... shut up. What pressure? Come on. There's hardly pressure. That's the problem. Everybody thinks they can just throw a tantrum and get what they want. No, there's no pressure. Let's forget. Normal pressure for growing minds full of energy. That's why you should feed them properly. But I've already said that. But no, you see, this populist politician bullshit doesn't solve anything. How will that solve anything? That kids go there, they have a chance to go drink and fuck and do all those things, then come back to school, then they'll be rested and ready for work. Are you mad? All they do is pick up habits that they can't stop and afford.
And adding more rest days and visiting days could bring relief.
Kama nchi tukiangalia vizuri tuone ya kwamba the pressure is too much.
Third worlders, what is wrong with us? Like the Chinese kids are being taught how to look at motherboards and third world bullshit artists everywhere. This is one of them. Maybe you can go praise him if you want. This is a buffoon. It is too much pressure. They're trying to run away from the corruption and the destruction they've done to the system that handles this. It's too much pressure. Shut up.
Na wanafunzi, especially wale wako boarding school, can be given even a weekend off. We must do it as a country to avert whatever is happening in our institutions.
That's nonsense. There's no data to show that will solve anything. I have no rest days. I work 7 days a week. What are these people talking about? And I'm older, I have lesser testosterone than them, everything. More pressure, everything. Yes, I'm older. I know more things. But there's nothing you're telling me about pressure here. What do you mean? We all work full time to just maintain things. These two people, these juniors of yours, they have to be part of that. They have to work their asses off in school, and we have to have this bullshit lazing around. They need to chill. From what? What pressure do they have here? Tuache ujinga bwana. We all know, we're all this age. What do you mean? We didn't want to do the important things. We didn't want to do the things that would actually build us. We had to be forced to do it. What do you mean they need time out? Like, niggas.
At the same time, Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya has said overcrowding in some schools is the main cause of tragedies witnessed when fire incidents occur, warning
that one is logical. Yes, I think it increases the chances, especially if overcrowded, all the resources are stretched that are meant to deal with a smaller number. It is. But that guy's pissed me off, man. That's the solution he's come with. Like, oh, they need some time off. Ah, man. Third world bullshit artists, man. Just can't think how much damage you're doing with this. Oh, we need to just chill. They need to go and eat some sausage.
High numbers of students in small dormitories are dangerous and could lead to major loss of life in the event of any incident.
Ile mambo ambayo alifanyia kule Utumishi Gilgil, kama ingekuwa hapa St. Joseph's, watoto wangekufa in their thousands. Maana ukienda St. Joseph's, vitanda inaanzia kwa mlango. Na
mnataka hiyo pesa.
Mahali mtoto anaweza kupitia. Is a disaster waiting to happen.
Officials say they are...
But these things didn't happen overnight. They've taken years and years to build up, and you allowed it because you're making money off it.
On top of the situation, engaging both students and teachers to ensure there's no disruption. However, are these measures enough to contain the unrest? Eugene Mbeka, NTV, Nairobi.
Everybody's running around and skirting around the real issue. Everybody's pretending that they are looking for a solution. No. You're not looking for a solution, my friend. You ain't looking for a solution. What you're looking for is an excuse. Oh, we need some time off. Oh, you have no idea how that comment has pissed me off. It's a whole politician. He's played a PR game now. He's painted some buildings and someone. So now he thinks he's... Because these are the guys who... They remind me of American Democrats. They like to talk like... Life is easy and it's just, just people need to relax. We need some time off. My mental health. This nonsense that's everywhere. Just to try and, it's deceptive. It's just making you take the foot off the pedal while you're at the bottom. Like you don't want... Everywhere you look where people are actually like doing stuff and building stuff and living well, they don't think like you, they don't behave like you, but you want to listen to Wamunyora or whatever his name is telling you need some time off. Well, you're at the bottom. That's what you need, time off when you're at the bottom. Give me a break. This pisses me off. Bure kabisa politicians. Anywho, let's finish off with some good movie news. Some nice movie news here. Scary movie is out. So we're gonna watch the final teaser that came out a week ago. Then we are going to listen in on the reviews. People have actually watched it. I haven't watched it, but because there's new. Let me first of all. Let me. I want to box office. I want to check first of all box office mojo. Box office mojo. Ngoja kidogo. What's going on here? Let me get box office mojo. Then we will switch there, all of us. So there, the trailer, we are coming to it shortly. Acha tuangalie. Hii nilikuwa naangalia $90 million. Scary movie. Scary movie. Scary movie. Watu wanaangalia Scary Movie 6 box office. Box office mojo lazima ikue. Let's look. Scary wins weekend box office. So Scary Movie 6 box office, how the Wayans brothers pulled off Hollywoods, blah blah. I want to check box office mojo right here. So domestic openings, this is the 55 million is kind of like, or it's better than they expected. That they do predictions. So worldwide at the moment is 105. That's weekend, right? Yes, the weekend. So Germany, blah blah. There's people. Hey, Germany wamepeana 5 million. 5 million. Anyway, that is that. So it is. What is the budget? Let's find out. Box office. So the budget. Budget. 30 million. Fantastic business. They've already broken even. Plus, yeah, so now everything else from now on is profit. That is how you do business. Now, 30 million is a lot of money here, but in Hollywood, it's there. But you see, if you're doing horrors are significantly cheaper to produce than other genres. Yes, that's just because horrors really is a lighting thing, location. Once you get that, and you can do your angles and you scare, your scare jumps over there. So anyway, let's consume this one. Scary Movie 6 official trailer. I hope you guys know that Scary Movie, that franchise is just it's about making fun of many other movies and happenings and whatnot. That's what it was anyway. Nope.
Sink into the chair.
All right, this is Get Out. Let me sink into the chair.
I'm high as fuck. Me too, cuz. Me 3, my nigga.
Ghostface is still killing folks.
You know what they say about the crazy ones? They got the best.
They are going all out. I see. Just go see them effing movie.
Scary Movie.
All right. Quick. So there are people who've listened to it. So this guy is called Michato. Used to be a Hollywood writer and producer, I believe. So he has his channel. Let's listen to what he has to.
Denizens, this is my review of the Wayans Brothers Scary Movie 6. There will be spoilers. When the first trailer came out, I was feeling quite hopeful, positive about it. There was evidence of the movie, TV, and gaming businesses coming out of their woke death spiral. Stand-up was doing its fair share of heavy lifting on the live comedy circuit, but we were still waiting for the return of politically incorrect comedy movies that were gut.
By the way, when was the last comedy movie from Hollywood you watched? When was, like, there was a time where just romantic comedies, just straight up it was just, they were great funny movies and they just disappeared because the culture changed and they said that you are going to offend people. They created these special groups of people you can't offend, and then they brought in sensitivity writers and readers. So don't use that word, it's going to hurt this person's feeling, and then they lost all senses, and here we are.
Wrenchingly funny, like Dumb and Dumber, 40-Year-Old Virgin, American Pie. There's something about Mary, a fish called Wanda, and Tropic Thunder. The Resurrected, The Naked Gun, turned out to be not naked enough, and so we had big hopes for Scary Movie 6. Watch the trailer, skip the movie. Thanks, denizens. Bees. Okay. I'll give you more. I'm not your movie reviewer toy, you know. This is a schizophrenic movie. It introduces new characters and reintroduces us to the OG who appeared in previous incarnations.
I hope they didn't. Was there a lot of, like, they're using nostalgia? Maybe that's what it means. I don't know.
Nostalgia bait, essentially.
Oh, okay.
We got the regulars, Anna Faris, Regina Hall, Marlon, and Sean Wayans. The first 3/4 of this movie aren't remotely funny. The last quarter finally delivers some laughs. Scary Movie was originally a parody of teen slasher films and was great. Scary Movie 2 parodied the haunted house genre and leaned into parodying other horror archetypes. And 3, in the hands of David Zucker of Airplane fame, made it less gross out and more gag a minute that parodied movies in general. Scary Movie 6 goes back to the more juvenile gross out style of the Wayans' original efforts and feeds off the most recent spate of horror films with far less success. It substitutes setups for comedy. Did they suddenly lose the ability to write punchlines or payoffs? Seriously, the prime responsibility of writing movies like this is that every scene has to be funny, or at the very least attempts to be.
Yeah. Basically, that's what it is, a parody. Like there has to be an attempt in every scene. That's why writing comedy is so difficult. In fact, doing a comedy movie is very hard. Did you know Mulamo, he tried his, was it even comedy? No. But yeah, you see, they do skits because trying to put together a coherent film and be funny through every scene. Yeah.
Funny. So much of the first chunk of this movie was, how about this crazy ass thing? Or what about this reference? I found myself thinking, and thanks for the setup. Can I have a punchline, please? I got most of the references to modern horror, even though they are not a fraction as popular, iconic, or familiar as what the original movies had access to. But if you're going to have the dancing robot from Megan, then do something more with it. Yes, the lame payoff was that it turned out to be Ghostface, but instead, have the Campbells hire it to protect them from Ghostface. A fight to the death between Megan and Ghostface would have been in context. 6 did manage to give us a really satisfying John Wick bit towards the end where, while it didn't redeem the movie, it did wake me up. The extended gay stuff missed the mark. How many butt plug jokes do we really need?
Yeah. These days it's just one or two in there, just forget about it because people are fatigued with that nonsense. Rainbow everywhere, LGBT everywhere.
It was a parody of body Botox alteration featuring Sherry O'Terry with a way past its stale date Epstein punchline. Finally, a gag, but that was the best you could do, guys? While there was a nod to our present era with a pronouns bit and a trans character,
of course,
you could have had TikTok gags. Ghostface could have slashed someone to death while they streamed themselves on TikTok. That would have been funny. The last words of the dying teen, don't forget to like it.
Subscribe. So
the movie
easy. Yeah.
Felt old and tired.
This guy is like, he's a writer. He's writing the old school stuff. So he sees the gaps more obviously because they were the people writing the era that was the best. So, yes, that's why his opinion counts. Yes. He has skills that he has acquired over years of using. He's back. Let's go.
Relied way too much on ghetto gags. The three new characters, Sarah Campbell, played by Olivia Rose Keegan, Tuesday, played by Savannah Lee, Nassif, and Sydney Park, added nothing to the movie. I couldn't tell if it was the writing or Olivia's performance, but absolutely nothing she did was even remotely funny. And the movie did sweet dick all with Tuesday, a.k.a. a nod to Wednesday Addams, apart from giving her pigtails. This laziness drove me crazy. It didn't help that the movie started off with a bit featuring Tiana Taylor. Tiana Taylor? That fell completely flat. Why start a movie with a beatdown of Ghostface that completely removed what little danger he provided? There's a rule in comedy. Don't cheat a laugh because you can't recover from it.
Yes.
I'm sure the writers were killing themselves writing this script. I'm sure
I don't get people spend millions of dollars and they don't even get the best writer they can. Like it's preposterous. Even if it's your original concept, you take it, then you give it to someone you trust who has a track record of doing that stuff the best way. Pay them whatever they need to be paid and let them go through it to make the necessary changes. Like, I don't get it. It's just so frustrating watching, because the thing is, us, like third world, we don't have capital to make these movies. And when we do, somebody wants you to add this, add some women empowerment, add some climate thing. There's no creative freedom. There's no investment in it. The people who have the money to do it don't do it well because their heads are blown up and they think they know everything. And the market is showing them they don't, but kio kichwa ngumu, lazima tufungie. Anyway, I'm ranting.
Wayans had a blast making it, but it wasn't their best effort. Do I need to give this a score? Sure, okay. 3 out of 10.
Hey, Omera, you're being harsh. So I'm going to listen a bit to Film Threat. I just want to get, because the thing out I don't understand is it's made a lot, it's done exceedingly well for the expectations for the first weekend. It's beat some top shotters and whatnot. It was only made for $30 million. It seems at least the general fan base is responding to it. There are few people, the comments that I was reading on X, I think we'll check a few, is the woke people complaining about they're making fun of gays or what, or trans or what. It's just the normal stuff. So, and it's I don't take them seriously. They're just like, if you're lucky enough for woke people to hate your movie, that means your movie will succeed, because people tend to use their moods as an indicator that something is good. If they're really mad about a movie or a thing, you just know this thing is anti-woke. That means it's good most of the time. That's a general rule we utilize as people of the internet. Western wokeism, when it says this thing is bad, we say it's good. 99% of the time, we find that we were right.
Let's talk about Scary Movie 6. This is the 6th film in the series. And let me just say this. The trailer was awesome.
Yeah,
really
you see the one we watched here.
The posters have been amazing. Okay? They're all parodies of recent horror films and recent movies. What can I say about this movie? The story is incoherent if there is a thread of a story. Alan, why don't you tell me what the story is? I'll tell you if I remember. It was so incoherent. It was like everyone on the set was high.
Probably.
It was, here's 26 years after outrunning a suspiciously familiar masked killer, Shorty, Ray, Cindy, and Brenda find themselves targeted by another mad slasher. Look, it's a parody of Scream. It's the same old story. But my God, I sat there and barely laughed. And I'm no elitist. Give me raunchy humor, sure. Give me dumb humor, I'll take it.
When it's good.
This was just plain bad. You're the comedy guy. Alan, you perform comedy.
Yeah.
Improv. I want to hear you.
So, two people that I trust saying it's trash. Were they trying too hard to mix too many things together? Did they not get the best, how do you say, relationships on set? What happened? Because maybe they were trying the tropes too much and the market has moved on. Or people are just tired of Hollywood.
Your thoughts, but I was like...
And by the way, this way, and he has that, like one of his kids is trans, and he's been very cringy in supporting that trans stuff. I can't say what effect that had or doesn't have, but that is off-putting, especially for me, I know many people that it was off-putting. But this thing of pushing that trans stuff, you're putting your kid out there in public, man, I have zero tolerance. I told you, wokeness, I have zero tolerance for this nonsense. So just on that, I'll probably not watch it in the cinemas. I've wanted to do cinema reviews for a bit, but there isn't a lot of, how do you say? Because most of those movies I've missed, I've watched them after, and I'm glad I didn't watch them. I didn't pay money to watch them. You know? Like, come on. Some of these movies, man, Jesus Christ.
I was so checked out. I can't believe I was bored with this thing. And it felt long. Even though it's only an hour and a half, it felt long.
Comedy's feeling long and is 1.5 hours. That's not a good sign.
Yeah, I would point you to the interview I did with David Zucker, because we talk about the problem with this movie. It has to have a story. This movie was basically a cobbled together story to justify a series of gags that they had written for the entire film. And and granted, you probably didn't laugh, but I did laugh at some of the jokes, and some really good laughs too. But
really, what were they? Because
the one where it's like, don't go back, there's no one there, and she says, no, my gardener, my this, my that are there. And they said they're not there anymore, and you see ICE agents.
Okay,
then there was...
Okay. So there's no way that a whole film can go like that's meant for comedy where there are no laughs. It's just not possible. Even if you're a bad comedian, even if you don't know how to write, you'll still get some kind of, how do we say? You'll get some laughs. But more important to me, I'm looking at the box office, because money never lies. When people buy tickets for your movie, it means there's something they appreciate. Maybe they just want that silliness. People are just like, this is just nice and silly, and we can enjoy that. Maybe it's just that. Maybe, but really the acid test will come in the second week. Then if it goes to 200 million, then maybe we should watch less movies so we appreciate more movies. Like for me, I've watched too many movies. I can sort of, when I'm watching a movie, I can sort of predict what's going to happen, and it happens, and it's sort of started frustrating me. So the things I used to enjoy about these movies, a bit of it was taken away, a bit of it when I started doing movies. So you understand the intricacies and what. But over time, you also get love. You want to create something great and blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot of that. So I don't know. I am of the opinion, at least, I think the box office is semi-right. I think they did a lot of tropes. They tried to jumble them all together to see if it works. And they just overdo everything, just be funny, be wayans and whatever. So maybe it's just, maybe people are still like that. I want to see the second weekend. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything about. Anywho, that is, let's see, 2 hours. 2 hours. I have streamed for, it seems like my streams last for like 2 hours. I think I'll keep it at 2 hours, then see. Right now I have abundant internet. I'm going to cook tomorrow 10 a.m. We are here tomorrow. I know it's past midnight. Yes, I have to finish the stream. Come on. And so tomorrow I'll do the mid-morning thing. I think there's better. People are there, but you can't sit here and listen to somebody till midnight. Although if you're in America, you can do that straight away. I'm also quoting Americans and the worldwide. I want worldwide audience. That's my aim. Anyway, I've talked enough. Please like the video as you come in. Share the video to your friends. There's many topics we've talked about today, so you can get. I'm going to put out shorter clips of each topic out tomorrow, and also if it crosses like if something like the movie review, probably that can go tomorrow. Whichever. I'll see what I'll cut out of this, put it out there for you to consume in small bits as you do. There'll be reels also, TikTok, whatnot. Watch down here, follow me everywhere. Yes? If you are there, Albert O. Nyakundi is the name. You'll find me. You'll see my handsome African face. You'll see it there. Then you follow to endelea. Yes. What is the last thing? Now, this week, towards the end, I do have a shoot that's coming up on Thursday, and have some post-production. But I also wanted to introduce the first episode of my, how do I call it? My sci-fi, Afro sci-fi mythology action Guinea audio audio story on video. I'm going to do that on the 3D Africa Media channel. I'm going to leave the link to 3D Africa Media channel down below. All right? Then that's where I'll be putting that sci-fi stuff, because that channel, but now we built it for so many years and I've just abandoned it. And it can be a great source of good entertainment for you. So I'll leave the comment. In the other videos, I'll clip from this, and also in the description of this, I'll leave all these links and everything. So, second channel, 3D Africa Media, Africa with a K, 3D Africa. While we are here, let me go there so that you can see the channel. Okay? 3D Africa Media. Hey, imefichwa kwa algorithms. Here it is. There's a lot of skiffy there. There's a lot of sci-fi. A lot of nice stuff you can enjoy. This is the channel, 3D Africa Media. This also my company. 3,000. I have 3,000 subscribers, and I'm just neglecting these good people. I am coming back there very quickly. So a lot of the sci-fi stuff will be put here, but mostly just interesting stories. I'll be taking different heroes and mythologies and mixing in some sci-fi, some space stuff. It's the process is interesting. I know you like it because I have done a test and I've found that people like it. I've already done a test, so people like that one. Quick. Sindio. Otherwise, guys, thank you for joining me for those 2 hours. I will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. This 10 p.m. stuff doesn't wash. 10 a.m. we'll be here. I am trying to find out what's working. So I'll wake up a bit early to see what topics work. I'll set up the stream, blah, 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 so you'll be able to see it. Sindio. Haya. See ya. And we will go out with Mr. Gentleman. Okay? Do you know Gentleman?
Ooh.
We the Black Sea. This one.
I may say them rate us, and them now underrate us. Are we ready? I will tell them how we burn them down. This for them.